The video you are about to watch was made for entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed in this video are those of the content creators themselves and should not be taken personally. So sit back and enjoy.
Breaking Iran war news, good or bad? Not clear. There's maybe a ceasefire, but the ceasefire sounds like it's already falling apart. Listen to this closely, guys. So Donald Trump announced about an hour ago that we had reached a ceasefire with Iran. He agreed to Iran's terms, and he said, actually, they proposed a 10-point plan, and I agreed to most of it. Iran then turns around and says, great, we agree too. Israel says, we agree too. Trump and Israel say, but Iran better reopen the Strait of Hormuz 100% unconditionally. Iran says, well, we're glad to hear that Trump accepted our 10-point plan because our 10-point plan for reopening the Strait and doing everything else in the ceasefire includes America paying full war reparations to Iran, America agreeing to remove all of its troops from the Middle East, America agreeing that for eternity, Iran gets to control the Strait of Hormuz, 20% of the world's oil and gas, and finally, lifting of all U.S. sanctions against Iran. Iran claims Trump agreed all to that as a condition for reopening the Strait. Well, Trump is now claiming that Iran agreed to reopen the Strait for the ceasefire for 2 weeks. Iran said, yeah, we're going to reopen it. You just have to, each ship has to check in with the Iranian military. And, you know, our technical limitations might slow things down. Meaning, Iran, this was an open waterway that everybody could pass through. Iran is now going to restrict who comes through the Strait of Hormuz. Every single ship has to check in with the Iranian military and get approval first. And because Iran has to approve every single ship during the ceasefire, they might not get to everybody. So the Strait of Hormuz has not been reopened. We have just ceded control of the Strait of Hormuz to Iran as part of the ceasefire. Unless Trump is insane, I would imagine he's going to say, I'm not very thrilled about this ceasefire. So guys, stay tuned because it's not clear that we have a ceasefire at all.
The FBI has come out and said that they are no longer going to be investigating the fucking files or releasing anymore. So it's time for us to not shut the fuck up about it for a single goddamn second. And we really don't need those files if we actually listen to survivors and their stories. If we work together to corroborate their fucking stories, we create a safe space for more of them to come forward. And one of the bravest people out there that has come forward is Sasha Riley. And I need absolutely everybody paying attention to them and their story right now. They are trying to get it out there. And the fucked up powers that be are doing everything they can to make sure that you don't hear it and you don't see it.
This is your daily reminder that all it would take to stop this is 3 Republicans in the House and 20 in the Senate. But they would all rather watch America burn.
Yo, everything is fake, man. The media's fake, the jobs are fake, the money's fake, politics fake, religion's fake, people are fake, friends are fake, everything is fake. Nothing is real anymore. We have traded authenticity for convenience. We have traded truth for comfort. And we're surrounded by the illusions that we helped build. The media is feeding you fear. The job is draining your soul. The money's being printed from nothing but controlling everything. The politics is dividing you into teams that both work for the same system. Religion is telling you to find God outside yourself. Your friends are following trends more than they follow truth. And the family stopped talking once technology gave them better distractions. You scroll more than you feel. You post more than you speak. You know more about strangers online than your own blood. The science lies when there's money involved. Pharma profits when you're sick. And NASA is selling you dreams while the whole world is burning. Everything that's supposed to help you hurts you. Everything that's supposed to unite you divides you. And everything that's supposed to make you smarter is making you dependent. We've forgotten how to be human. We've lost touch with nature, with silence, with each other. We're seeking truth in systems designed to hide it. And the only way to get out, man, is to going back in. Back to presence, back to truth, back to real connection. And it starts with awareness. You got to question it all. You got to unplug from the things that drain you and reconnect with the things that ground you. You got to talk to your people. You got to touch the earth, hug a tree, listen more than you scroll. Because the system is going to continuously win when you forget who you are. But the moment you remember it, you're going to break it. So remember, tribe, it's always about leaving people better than we found them. So we got to help the people unplug from this. Open their eyes and seek truth over comfort always. Until tomorrow, tribe, namaste.
Boomers be like, I owned a house at your age. Your generation is just lazy. But a house in the 1950s was $9,000. In the 1960s, a house was $15,000. In the 1970s, $42,000. In the 1980s, it was $73,000. And the 1990s, $150,000. In 2000s, $163,000. And in the 2010s, $339,000. And a house today is $680,000 if you're lucky.
What that is? That is some weird shit.
Bologna 2735, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.7, good day. Ho Chi Minh 120.7, good day, Bologna 2735.
That's something fun.
Benjamin Netanyahu has already said that there's going to be no IDF soldiers going into Iran. It's going to be all U.S. military. And we're doing this war on their behalf. This is like disrespectful and ridiculous.
So no boots on the ground for Israel, for the IDF, but boots on the ground for our Marines.
And you want to add an extra slap on the face,
Yeah.
salt on the wound?
Yeah.
Is that if any serious injuries to American military personnel, they have to go all the way to Germany to get medical treatment, not Israel. Much, much closer Israel. Ain't that just completely, Netanyahu does not care.
Hey, I really hope you haven't paid your taxes because we don't need to pay them this year. Turns out they are getting so overwhelmed with people filing exempt, they do not have the bandwidth to do anything about it. So you don't need to pay your taxes this year. Because no taxation without fucking representation, and I don't want to fund the most horrific acts in the world. So.
Reported in the building. While this is being verified, please stand by for further instructions. May I have your attention, please? An emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please stand by for further instructions.
There's bombs in a semi-truck on I-4 in Florida.
Appear to have alerted on something. We are now hearing that maybe there was nothing to alert on there that was dangerous. We do know that at
California residents, it was just signed into law that if your crypto sits on the exchange for 3 years, then the government can take it. This officially passed last week.
Wait a fucking minute. Bro, since when the fuck is getting air $3 When did that happen? Who did this?
Rainwater is a public resource, and collecting it without permission is illegal.
In Oregon, a man was convicted and sentenced to jail for collecting and using rainwater on his own land. The state government charged him with theft. Rancher Gary Harrington built 3 large reservoirs on his property to collect rainwater and snowmelt. Harrington said the water was primarily used for fire prevention and to provide drinking water for wildlife. However, the state classified his actions as theft and brought criminal charges against him. Under a municipal regulation, all water resources within city limits, including precipitation, are considered part of the public water supply system. The city asked the court to order the removal of his water collection system and impose fines. Despite multiple appeals, Harrington argued, "The water falls on my land. I didn't sell it. I only used it on my own property." The court ultimately rejected his argument. In the end, Harrington was convicted on multiple charges, including the illegal use of state water resources. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail and fined more than $15,000. The case sparked strong public backlash, with many residents calling it an act of tyranny. If a person cannot even own the rain that falls on their own land, what do they truly own?
What's up, TikTok? So, I see a bunch of people complaining about the price of beef per pound. Now, mind you, personally, I don't eat beef. I do turkey and other meats, chicken and fish and whatnot. But you know what's going to make the beef prices go even higher than they already are? AI data centers. Okay? We all need to come on board here and just leave politics and everything out of it. And all of us need to say no to AI data centers. Tell me what you think.
Look how they're doing the sun visor now. Glass, press this button. You want to open it back up. Or if you want to close it and have it like half, you press the button. It's crazy. Go.
Let's see. Is this snow?
Nope.
Nope. You smell hella plastic.
Yep.
You smell that?
Yep. You can smell plastic. And look at it.
It's very.
You want to know why we fight Israel's wars? Because 82% of every sitting member of Congress today has accepted money from AIPAC, the American Israeli Political Action Committee, including Donald Trump himself, who has accepted over $250 million in the last 2 years alone. We need to abolish this government and start a new one.
And so the morning of Easter is a uniquely joyful and peaceful moment. And yet that peace yesterday was shattered. That's not an overstatement. It was shattered for many observant Christians by a statement that the President of the United States put out at 8:03 a.m. Eastern time on Easter morning that said this, and we're going to read it in its entirety, not in outrage or self-righteousness, but honestly in horror. Quote, Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it, 3 exclamation points. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch, all caps. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. Now, a lot of people reading that imagined, of course, this can't be real. Did the President of the United States really just write that? And it is real. It is maybe the most real thing this president has ever done, and also the most revealing. On every level, it is vile. On every level. It begins with a promise to use the U.S. military, our military, to destroy civilian infrastructure in another country, which is to say to commit a war crime, a moral crime against the people of the country, whose welfare, by the way, was one of the reasons we supposedly went into this war in the first place. They're being killed by their government. We have to rescue them. And now here's our president, not even a month and a half into the conflict, which we are not winning, by the way, because the Straits of Hormuz are not open. There's one way to keep track. That's the measurement, saying that we're going to use our military to kill the civilians of this country who didn't choose the war. They got nothing to do with it. They're like civilians everywhere. Blow up their bridges that people cross every day to go to school and work and to worship, and yes, church, because there are over 1 million Christians in Iran. This is their Easter too. And power plants. Not the power plants attached to missile factories, okay, but civilian power plants in a country of almost 100 million people.
It's not weird to nobody else that he does stuff like this. Like, Obama's name was never on the Department of Labor building. His picture, absolutely not.
This is happening all over the United States right now.
Why are you
Watch.
holding it down so hard? Look. It's literally a scanner. We could call the police right now.
Y'all need to watch out.
Look, this is the real one.
Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. Why? What happened?
This is a skimmer. You know you have a skimmer, right? Huh? You have a credit card skimmer on there. Yeah. You know what this is, right? This is illegal.
What happened? What are you doing? Oh,
You need to be careful what you put your card in. Be careful putting anything anywhere.
Do you know about that hour? There is a problem. So now, how much we said? 600.
Wow.
No, it's a skimmer. Because of this gap, this comes off. Give it to your manager.
It's just crazy that you're willing to steal from hardworking people.
Can anybody tell me if this spider is trying to send me messages? Does it love me? Do these webs have any meanings? It looks like they're spelling out words. Tell me that's not an R, a heart, and then an arrow pointing towards the heart. And my name starts with an R.
From one driver to another, there has been some talk that UPS has been hiding little cameras in our trucks in like the vents, and the unions apparently know about this. So if you feel like, you know, maybe check in your vents, because apparently they're watching us, and not just with lytics. They are full on recording us in our trucks, in our cabs, in the back of our truck. So if you're a man and you like to pee in the back of your truck, maybe be careful when you do that. You shouldn't be doing that in the first place anyway, because that's gross. But like me as a woman, sometimes I switch on my pants and my shorts if it's too hot or whatever. But yeah, just so you know, they are recording you, and yes, it's against the contract. So just make sure that you guys are super aware, be aware of your surroundings. Also, they are renting out cars, and they are recording us in rented cars. They're following us, you know, not in our center, not yet, but just make sure that you're minding your P's and Q's, follow all the rules, do everything that you're supposed to do. They're looking to get us, but you know, do what you do, follow the rules, be the best driver that you can be. But yeah, be careful. Bye.
What you look at here? Y'all see this right here? They say, please know a temporary credit card hold for amount of credit line listed above will be applied to all credit cards users until the actual purchase amount has been transmitted by your financial institution. This temporary hold is generally released in 1 to 2 business days. Shit, ain't no money around this bitch. But what y'all gonna do?
We have a very broad range of content across not only HBO Max, but all of our platforms that we need to appeal to all audiences. Our content ranges from Hard Knocks from the NFL to shows like Deadliest Catch and Gold Rush. It's a very broad collection of programming that represents broad interests across America. You have a wide range of programming.
Now, I started digging it out. You can see how far I dug this out. I dug all the way down this pile to try to get to some nice lumber. All of it is moldy. So I looked up here and I was like, well, look, they got nice 2x4s up here. So I asked the Lowe's representative, can you pull some of that down? He went and asked his supervisor. They said, no, not until all this stuff is gone. They literally want to sell you wood with mold on it. They want you to build your projects with mold on it. And they can't pull down the good 2x4s that don't have mold on it. I just had to explain to the Lowe's people that this isn't just some discoloration. Like, they are literally selling something that is a health hazard that people are going to build walls in their homes out of. And I explained to them right now, I said, would you be okay with a grocery store putting food out with mold all over it?
This is what their prediction of the future for our food is. Absolutely shocking. So this is a farm-free protein machine. This is what they're predicting. And we put our protein in there, and then it comes out. I put the dispenser on.
Protein?
Oh, I don't know how to...
What is protein?
Get this dispenser thing on. Oh, it's not letting you see it now, but oh, there we go.
Machine.
And then we're supposed to be eating this sludge.
Sludge?
And this sludge we put into this, and it turns into chicken. That's what we're going to be eating. Farm-free protein machine, the predictions for the future.
Kids today will never understand the struggle. Laser sanding is becoming more popular, and all the pros are apparently using lasers to sand things down, like anything. And even inside little grooves and things like that that would have almost been impossible back in the day, they just, with ease, sanding things back with these lasers. They can even do it on metal. It just won't go through that shade of blue, you know? That Oprah Winfrey's roof blue, if you know, you know. But it can get through mostly anything. Rust, I think mechanics are using them. But restoring doors like this, it's amazing. We get to see the end of sanding. It was a crazy job.
I did not know that having this bag on the balloon will keep it down out of your way while you're driving. If you do not believe me, watch this. I always thought you had to put them in big garbage bags to tie them down and this and that. Look at this. There you go. And then if you put it back, in the bag, it's gonna sit back down like a little well-behaved child. Look at it. That is crazy to me. I literally had no idea.
looked up NASA. They got $24.4 billion this year. NASA sent an ARTEMIS to the moon, which they're not really doing. They're just going up there to fly around like every other time. Because we don't need education or healthcare or fuel, gas for our cars or jobs. We need to fly around space and do absolutely fucking nothing with $24 billion. What is wrong with people? What kind of insanity is in their head to think that this is some kind of reasonable thing to do?
There are literally 8 human beings, men, who have enough to give up less than 1% of their net worth and feed the world. 8 men could feed the world on their own and still be one of the richest 8 men in the entire world. And that should tell you everything you need to know about the monetary system in your whole facade of a life.
Iran has broken the ceasefire. Less than an hour into the ceasefire, Iran has started striking Tel Aviv with multiple missile barrages. Tel Aviv has been struck, and all of Israel is in danger of being struck. Air raid sirens are going off across the country. Only an hour into the ceasefire and it was already broken. Some people are saying Iran never agreed to it in the first place. Others are saying it is because the Strait of Hormuz has not officially been opened, therefore the ceasefire has not officially started. What are your thoughts?
I just heard about the theory of the firmament, and I have no words. No words.